right, so we're getting into it. Route 66 is loading. Cloud9 versus Faze. Faze, of course, following the Cloud9 earlier in the day, looking for the revenge right here, right now. An extra $1,000 on the line as first place brings home $3,000.
Cloud9 made Farah Mercy work here to quite a good effect last time against Faze. Wouldn't surprise me if maybe they bring it out again. Just because, you know, that force is too easy on McCree, and I think if you're Faze and you're too easy, you have to maybe put too easy on McCree to start out these defenses in some of the games, even though where he's wanted to play Roadhog. And I think he's had a pretty good game on Roadhog throughout the last 2 days. But if you run that risk and Surefour wants to bring out the pocket Farah, then there's always a possibility that it doesn't work out and you just lose straight away.
Indeed. So, one thing people bring up here, gotta see Tatsumi versus the one and only Mr. Wobble. Just a battle of the different Smurfs, even though, of course, they are on the same team right now. And either way, let's take a look here at the defense, get a little bit more serious here, return some semblance of professionalism. Take a look here at Faze. It will be Grego parkouring over the top here on the Lucio. Shadowburn, not wasting any time on the Genji. Raucous, gonna be on Zarya. Factor Fiction on Reinhardt. Too easy on McCree. And Forsaken on one of his very best heroes in the Zenyatta. And we'll see how it holds up to this assault coming up from
Forsaken and
C9.
Raucous switching and Forsaken deciding to go Zen. I think this might be to think about the Farah combo, or maybe Forsaken just doesn't feel like playing Zarya anymore tonight.
Yeah, it also might just be the factor why you see them going to their generally more comfortable heroes. Shadowbird could probably play Genji in his sleep, and he might be on the verge of that right now. We do have the Cloud9 strategy, a Bastion on offense on the card.
Gotta love it. A return the form. They are not deterred from it not working out earlier. They're bringing the Bastion. Surefour laying in all sorts of damage right now to this Reinhardt. Love seeing this sort of thing happen. Does have a Genji on him in the back, so has to be a little bit careful, but recon mode and Bastion still pretty deadly, at least when played by someone of the caliber of Surefour. So he's going to be rolling around the back here. Turret mode might be in progress. And he just gets in Reinhardt's face, takes out Factor Fiction. Battle Bastion, certainly a thing right now.
Wait, that's a nice first kill to take on Factor Fiction, who's been so impactful in these fights. So they also, too easy trying to bring it back for his team all by himself, taking out Surefour and taking out the Mercy as well. Shadowburn does pop his dragon, but can he get some work done?
Mendo right now takes out Shadowburn, and defense of Faze trying to hold on here, but it could be a losing battle. They've bled out quite a bit. Reinforcements for C9 going to be coming in sooner rather than later. And by the way, if you're a fan of tanks, Surefour is going to show you a world of fun here in just a moment. About to be at 100%. Takes out Too Easy right away and just working his way towards the back. Battle Bastion still doing some work. And here comes tank mode just blowing up. Forsaken point blank. Shadowburn lucky he didn't fall as well. And this should be a capture here for C9.
Rib does clean up as well, a tank hero of his own. So world of tanks going on for Cloud9 as they grab first point rather easily. Gonna try to get aggressive as they send Kai over the top. And right now, this is the kind of comfort pick and the comfort roster for Faze, and it is what they want to run, but maybe at some point you have to do something to make sure you can deal with the Bastion, although they do have the Genji, which should be effective against it. But so far, Surefour has no designs of switching off this anytime soon.
No, he's going to wait for one more round of tanking, perhaps, at this rate. Right now, not the best answer coming out here from Faze. They do have a lot of ultimates soon to be on the way. Too easy to open this up here at the Deadeye. Not quite getting what he wants. Soundbearer out for the defense. Still, defense rushing in. They have not gotten the kills they need. They take out Surefour, that's about it. But that might be all they need. It's 3 kills here for the defense. They do finally collapse because they're looking for a but the resurrection, bringing everyone back up. Mr. Waffles immediately coming out the nano boost. As Surefour laying in the damage once more with Bastion, getting things done, takes out Shadowburn and forces Too Easy to the side. So Battle Bastion doing far more work than should be legally allowed.
Probably the best res we've seen tonight as far as the follow-up and reinitiation afterwards, because the defense had been so spread out, almost seemingly forgetting that the resurrection was even an option. They just thought that those kills were permanent, not on top of the corpses to kill their reinvigorated bodies, and they absolutely got crushed off that resurrection. Nice snipe,
Mendo
though,
and
onto
Shadowburn,
short from Factor Fiction.
Training off here. Surefour, though, will be falling. He will not have a resurrection. He's going to have tank up, though, for his next fight, so he still might be staying on this Bastion. Why not? C9 still maintains decent amount of momentum. Kai and Mendo carrying the tank torch right now, keeping C9 in this fight, as with DPS down, it is going to take quite a while to finish.
Factor Fiction continues to just impress, and it's not even Earthshatters this time. This was just great positioning by him to get the Fire Strike onto Surefour's Bastion and make sure that they weren't that great. Here comes the
Nanotank. Nanotank, though, not getting as much done here. Graviton into Reinhardt, but Factor Fiction does fall in the end. Shadowburn on the Kai in the back. This is a little bit messy back and forth. Still, though, anytime you have a fight that's working out like this, it works out a little bit better for the defense because the offense not really able to get things going or to get on the card as it's just this long melee. And Surefour falls again the Forsaken. This should be it for the Bastion. I'm expecting a swap up here.
But that Nanotank did two-shot a Reinhardt shield and the Reinhardt behind it, so the power is definitely present when you get the Bastion in full effect. But speaking of full effect, it is going to be Shadowburn who's going to have his Dragon Blade up. Defense in a great position ultimate-wise right now. However, a lot of Qs on the menu for the offense as well. Here comes the grab to start it off.
Graviton does come in, and Surefour is on that McCree, so both teams trading out to start things out here. Too easy, taking out Mendo, so Mendo going to be falling. You take a look here. Surefour getting pushed back by Too Easy. Is this easy mode? Takes down Surefour, and for now, Faze actually stemming out Cloud9 quite a bit. As Cloud9 down to 38 seconds. They're going to lose this fight X and be down to their final 10th. The Shadowburn with the 3K. Dragon Blade being all sorts of thirsty.
Just for, medium kills for Shadowburn. At this point, it's not even a surprise when you see it happen in the kill feed. It's just, oh yeah, Shadowburn's on Genji. That's bound to happen at least once every fight. And even though the Bastion strategy worked out for them pretty well early on, it was just better ult usage on the last clash as both teams dropped about 5 ultimates into that Factor Fiction. Gonna look to end this. Maybe he can get in Rib's head, play some Rhine game, but a giant Earthshatter could be coming momentarily.
We'll have to see. Factor Fiction definitely pretty good on that. But there's the Earthshatter we're looking for. Does set up Surefour for that kill. Shadowburn coming in over the top. The one to finish it. And gonna look for a little bit more. Mr. Wobble's in trouble here in the back. Down he goes. It's 3 kills so far here for Shadowburn. And this very much looking like a hold for FaZe.
Rip trying to bring it back, but he's all alone. They're going to use the Graviton just to lock this out. It's Too Easy. Cleans up Mendo at the end. So progress stalled before the second point capture.
Score 0.
I mean, that went about as well as it could have for Cloud9 out of the gate to take first point. And they almost got it to the second checkpoint, but along with the Fire Strike that Factor Fiction hit, Surefour was actually shooting the Diva at Too Easy and kept clicking and then hit the Reflect of Shadowburn along with the Fire Strike, which is why he died so quickly. And then I just think that maybe they should have switched off Bastion right then and there. I know they wanted to do the Ana boosted tank mode, which can kill anything and look really cool, but maybe just because they did that at Route 66, it just takes so long that you don't have so many pushes to really attempt things, and they just didn't have enough time to regain control. So I think a pretty solid defense from FaZe, all things considered.
FaZe has put themselves in an incredible position here to win this map, even up the winner's bracket advantage, and effectively turn this into a best of 3. So credit where credit is due. It was a good defense. It dealt with what was a good opening from C9. I do agree that C9, I think, probably stuck on the Bastion a little bit too long, invested too much into it. I think it was fine for the first point. Swapping off for second probably would have been a little bit better. But here's the one scary thing. We have seen C9 hold here on first. FaZe is not out of the woods here just yet. They do need to come out strong, or they risk C9 having a big turnabout.
This was the DPS combination that they ran last time on Route 66, Surefour on the Reaper and Mendo on the McCree, and that kind of brought up the conversation where they're not missing a whole lot when you have to run. I mean, Surefour top tier McCree, but Mendo no slouch on that hero at all, and it is probably the strength of this Cloud9 roster thus far is just the versatility of their DPS. Now, of course, the remnants of the old Cloud9 in Adam and Kai are top tier at their positions on this roster as well, but so far, it has been a great dance between the two of how, who's going to play what DPS, and they can really have more versatility than anyone. I do like this Shadowburn pick onto Hanzo, though. They're going to need some entry kills.
Mr. Wobble is opening up with some serious poke on Ana right now. emphasizing the DPS end while Reinhardt has a shield, throws down the grenade, so alright, opening poke-wise for the side of C9. Meanwhile, you take a look at Shadowburn. Shadowburn looking for the important poke, the type where if he lands the arrow on the head, he'll get a headshot and set things off pretty well. But take a look at C9. They have good positioning for dealing with that. They're not giving Shadowburn any easy targets here just yet. And though we know Shadowburn can find them eventually, it can be rough. But Mendo eating all sorts of fire. Lucky didn't get hit there towards the end. As now it's Faze starting to make some inroads, in part due to this Hanzo poke.
Yeah, Mendo very low, but that's actually going to let Wobbles get up to an Ana boost very early, about 30% faster than Rocket, so that is the small advantage they have. Mendo taking down Shadowburn. They might not even need it here as they continue to beat up, and there goes Factor Fiction as well.
Really good self-control here for Wobbles. A lot of support players might have just immediately went into Nano Boost to secure the fight, but they hold it. They knew that they were going to win the fight anyways, and as a result, they're going to have the Nano Boost for the next fight. So it's solid self-control coming out here. Mr. Wobbles, by the way, is Custa subbing in, but honestly, Mr. Wobbles is a better name. He should just swap to
Totally
that.
better name. Anyway, this is what Slasher said earlier, that the worst thing you can do in this game is almost kill someone, and that's twice that Mendo's almost died. The ult advantage now is going to be equalized on both sides. Short4 going to come in, gets that boost.
Shore4 gets a boost, rolls into the backline. Mendo at the Deadeye takes out too easy, and here comes Shore4 spinning, not with the nano boost. It faded, and Shadowburn actually takes him out, so C9 with a bit of an ult advantage. Falling to the wayside, Shadowburn has already picked up the triple kill and hungry for more.
They will use their Ana boost, though, to make sure that they get this first point. Kai trying in vain to stall it out as Factor Fiction swings a hammer. Adam going to come into this corner spot. It is a spot that you can use to stall off Shadowburn, having none of it.
Shadowburn didn't start out super well, but man, that last fight definitely making up for lost time. Big pickoffs coming in here as Hanzo. Character known for being feast or famine, while Shadowburn was eating well. And you see C9 trying to come back here and just stall this out, but it is not going to happen. Shadowburn picks off another headshot on the Shore4 towards the end.
They do get Wobbles on a nice hook there, eliminate him from the fight, so that is 75% on his ultimate. Right now, it is definitely Faze with the ultimate advantage, and they are working towards more as Forsaken, 15% away from his Zarya ult, and we've seen how powerful Zarya ult with Dragon Strike can be, and no support ultimates even close right now for Cloud9, so if they get this, they are doomed. If Forsaken can grab 3 in it, all 3 of them will die.
And this is part of the reason why you run Zarya Hanzo. It's sort of a side benefit because you run Hanzo more for the early pickoffs, but the fact that it combos well with one of the most played heroes in the game in Zarya works out pretty darn well. So Forsaken just needs a little bit more. He will be looking for that Graviton, and we'll see if the follow-up is going to be there, as Forsaken right now really close. But here comes a nano boost to Shore4. Shore4 just want to give them the chance. Graviton comes out here from Kai, but Shore4 just getting pushed to the side. The whole hog doing work, but not quite enough as Mendo in the distraction picks up the double, and it will be C9 with the full hold.
Kind of okay, though, because at least they didn't burn any of the pieces of their combo at the very least. Too easy feels like switching. They're going to have a sound barrier up as well, so they're going to have all the tools. I guess you could classify it as a jump rush. I think they actually just got caught off guard. They wanted to set up their stuff, but they got aggressive on first, but they did not at least throw their ultimates away onto it, so now they're going to take this top position. A little bit better spot to try to set this up anyway.
And here we go, Death Faucet going in here from Shore4 again, trying to stop the push before it begins, gets kind of dunked in by Too Easy. Graviton's gonna come in, no dragon on the way. I don't know if they said it wasn't needed, or it kind of wasn't. They would have picked up 2 extra kills though.
Yeah, Grego just booped them off the edge instead, so he did get 1 kill out of that. Grego and Adam now fighting in a Lucio war up over top, but Mendo takes down Too Easy in the McCree battle.
Shadowburn takes out Mendo, and here comes the dragon just to seal off remaining doors as people try and push in. And Faze getting them they need to push us forward. And bear in mind, they don't have to go all the way here, X. They just need to push a little bit further. It's not even point 2, it's right before. Rib trying to hold on here for the team, drops the Earth Shatter, but gonna get taken for a ride instead. 2 extra kills here from Faze, and Faze well on their way to defeating C9 here on Route 66 and evening up the series 1-1.
I don't think Factor Fiction has lost a Reinhardt versus Reinhardt all night, or at least not consistently. It seems like he's always getting the better part of these charges, the better part of the counter, Earth Shatters too. This fight is not quite over yet as the last gasp is out here.
My goodness, Grego took out Mr. Wobbles, was looking for McCree. Too Easy is the one who finishes out, but pretty big Lucio plays going out, but Big Bang on the way. Shore4 only getting 1 out of it. Sureforce still alive, but he can't really leave the payload here. It is do or die here for C9. They have to stall this out for another 15 seconds. Faze, though, in a dominating position right now.
Factor Fiction is playing some of the best Reinhardt I've ever seen. It's not only Reinhardt battles, he's getting so much damage that during that fight he had 2 Earth Shatters. One was a great counter Earth Shatter to save 2 parts of his team. That very last one there was just kind of the icing on the cake as he was able to knock them off of the cart. But I mean, there's a lot of people playing very well tonight, but it has been some of the best Reinhardt play ever.
Play of the match.
All right, play of the game coming out here from Mercy, sporting the brand new Witch skin, which is just amazing in general.
Heroes never
I think, Hex, as you mentioned, this probably was the most impactful res that we've seen so far during the night. And I actually agree with you what you were saying earlier. I think tempo reses, if Mercy ever does come back into the meta, will be really important. Yes, Factor Fiction, probably maybe the best player right now playing for the team, considering how weighted it is Shadowburn and Too Easy, really helping carry them through this map. I do like the pick of Hanzo, and maybe it didn't quite work out in the very first push, but as long as you get 1 or 2 picks, which it did, it opens up so much space to the team. It has that same impact as Widow of creating space for your team and letting you get the opportunities, and he hit enough of those to make sure they got it. I mean, Sureforce came back on Tracer, almost saved it for him for Cloud9, but Shadowburn hit enough shots to nullify that and secure the victory. So good stuff on Hanzo. You have to wonder if maybe, since that worked, if Shadowburn will continue to try Hanzo on offense through the rest of the maps.
Yeah,
I think early on, there's no reason why they shouldn't at least open with it. I think the key is, though, is that you have to have a quicker hook where you realize this isn't working. Let's back out. I think they were approaching that point. The last push where he got stuff going was probably the cutoff, but he did get stuff going. And while it's working, it's totally okay to stay in the Hanzo. I just think there are points where you sort of have to hedge your bets and say, all right, we're not going to believe in this. We'll go to something more tried and true. But I think part of the reason for that, too, is that Shadowburn probably doesn't feel anywhere near as comfortable going on Genji against C9 based on what happened earlier in the day where C9 came in incredibly strong with the Genji containment. So Hanzo is sort of a way of getting around some of the McCree shenanigans.
It is a different level of McCree play, and that's not to take anything away from Jesus, but also maybe Shadowburn does not have the fear in him of Jesus, a relatively newer player, but he's played against Mendo, he's played against Sureforce, he knows what those McCrees can do to him on his Genji, so that is a very valid point of why he might not be on that. I do, however, think that in Lijiang Tower, specifically Control Center, he will run nothing but Genji.
Just for context right there, so people don't think Hex is just throwing out words for no reason, Jesus is the name of a great DPS player at Kingdom Esports that was very impressive earlier in the night. Continue.
I actually do have to wonder what combinations we will see here on King of the Hill. Will Shadowburn and Raucus decide to go Fire Mercy? I tend to think no. I kind of think they might run their standard dive comp, even maybe Raucus on Zarya and Forsaken on Zen, since they had so much success and because they just want to try to do what they know will work. And at the same time, Mendo and Sureforce have done all types of different combinations of McCree and Reaper and Tracer and Genji, and we've had Sureforce go on to Roadhog several times, different points of the different King of the Hill rounds, where it's going to be pretty interesting on what they decide to do. I do kind of favor Cloud9 a little bit, considering FaZe had so much trouble on King of the Hill against Kingdom and throughout the other maps. At the same time, Cloud9 lost to Kingdom 2-0 on Koth at the same point. So each team has a little bit of difficulty that I think can go either way. But FaZe has definitely put themselves in a good position, winning the first map, to be able to take this series. They did need that win to have any chance.
By the way, just to clarify scoring, because there's a little bit of confusion here, it is 1-1. C9 came in from the upper bracket. If you come in from the upper bracket in the tournament, you do get a 1-game edge in the grand finals. So overlay and all the rest is fully correct. It is 1-1 between both teams, as Cloud9 has not dropped a series in this tournament. That is the reward that they get.
All right, we got both teams ready here. I think what Too Easy plays is going to be largely dependent on what Sureforce ends up playing. If Sureforce comes out on Tracer, I think Too Easy comes out on Tracer. I think if, McCree comes out, then Too Easy will probably try to match his McCree. So I think a lot of it is going to be a reactive pick from Too Easy in this series.
I really think that they need to have McCree on one of the two. I don't think a 3-2 comp with Reaper as the only DPS would work. I mean, more than likely Shadowburn's going to play Genji, and if he does it, it's going to be Pharah Mercy. In either case, you're going to want Surefour or Mendo on McCree. So right now, Surefour's already on McCree. I think that's definitely the right choice for Cloud9. And because if there's any person in McCree in the world that can shut down Shadowburn's Genji, it is Surefour, and we have seen it before. So I definitely think that gives Cloud9 a much better chance of being able to take it here at COP and shut down Shadowburn.
He is, for the moment, on the Pharah. I don't love it. I think he's so good at Genji on this map that you at least give it a shot. Take one flashbang to the face before.
All right, Slasher, you need to pause.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to say is that because they're starting out on King of the Hill, and that Cloud9's probably thinking, okay, let's just run our standard comp, and we're going to do 2-2-2 with Ana, and the Shadowburn's probably going to go Genji. They're not going to be running Zen. And then even though you have McCree, Ana, you really do have to hit all your headshots with McCree to take down a Pharah due to all the nerfs a long time ago to McCree's range. Where if you don't have the Zen, it's a little bit easier, as we've seen, for Pharah Mercy to stay alive. Now, they only had some success against Kingdom. Surefour's McCree is probably best in the world.
Slasher,
but he said,
please unpause the game. You have the power.
He said, hold on. He said, hold on.
We're getting...
I actually am not so against it if they do decide that we are going to have a Shadowrun again.
Well, my argument is that you play on Genji until they force you off of it, because this map in particular, this stage in particular, with how Shadowburn plays so vertically, he's always up on these walls, he's all over the place, he's nearly impossible to hit. So stay with what you're best at until they force you off it. There's no one says you can't switch to Pharah. I just don't think you start on Pharah here.
And he didn't start on Pharah, he ended up going to the Genji instead, so we'll see how it works out. But this Surefour Shadowburn confrontation will be underway soon. Mendo, though, goes to the backline, coming in big, taking out 2 to start out the fight. And I'll tell you what, that Surefour Shadowburn fight might not even matter if Mendo does serious damage to the backline. However, while we're talking about Surefour, did take out Shadowburn in the end, and this is going to be C9's first capture.
It's never great to lose both of your anything. Losing both of your DPS, supports, or tanks in that situation really puts your team at a disadvantage. Mendo just got to the backline, was able to take down Factor Fiction, makes him jump off of the Winston immediately, goes back to his comfort hero of Reinhardt, who has been winning games for them, and yeah, they're going to switch it up just a little bit. Shadowburn does come onto the Reaper now, so immediate switch ups for Faze.
And I sort of see this from Shadowburn, given what happened earlier in the night. Maybe he's going up on the Genji too early, but there's some respect here for Surefour. Oh no! Surefour didn't even need to get shot there. He was rolling off the cliff. Too easy though, wanted to make sure. But somehow he just did come back from the depths. Rockus takes that ribbon. Just like that, 2 quick kills here from Faze as they push back in the C9. Adam used Sound Barrier, but it's not going to be enough. A counter Sound Barrier out now from Faze as they just evict C9 from this point.
Too easy coming to life here as he takes down Mr. Wobbles. They are going to flip this back over at about 60% here, so nice patience there. A lot of it came down to Rib missing his charge and then being completely out of position. That's rough. He gets cleaned up in the backside. Rockus does take down Surefour pretty late as well, so they're going to hold medium aggression here. He's not holding all the way up to the front. Rockus has an enormous charge, glowing like a Christmas tree.
Well, he's going to need that here at 70% because you take a look at the war chest that C9 has built up. Everything except Sound Barrier on the table, and Surefour taking the high road. Going all the way up to the top. It is going to be the highest of high noons here in just a moment. Too easy opening with a Deadeye of his own, but C9 knows they have a trump card, and that is Surefour coming in over the top. Deadeye comes up, has no skulls here just yet, has to go in over the top. Not nearly as epic as we were led to believe, but the rest of C9's ult usage definitely playing them in over the top. The Graviton set them up for the multi-kill, and as a result, they're going to take over the point. A little bit disappointed from falling Surefour to just 0 build up. Well, win some, you lose some.
A very back and forth fight as it's just about tied up here, though Cloud9 taking more control. It's going to be about 70-75% by the time this fight engages on the point. They're holding a little farther forward, but not too far. Got to be careful on keeping the shield at least somewhat healthy. Factor Fiction is going to get in here. He does have his Earth Shatter ready. He needs to get healed up, though. Shadowburn taking out Mendo is a nice pick to start this fight.
Factor Fiction, he is ready to go, has Earth Shatter at the ready, looking for his opportunity. Surprised he didn't drop it there, waiting for an even juicier opportunity, but now just swings the hammer in Kaikai's face, sends him flying, playing baseball with that Zarya. It's too easy, picks up 2 in the back.
Predictive charge from Factor Fiction takes down his counterpart Too Easy, also doing work. That is always a big sign that Faze is doing well when Too Easy showing up like that in the kill feed. Shadowburn has done enough by at least eliminating Mendo, who was a problem very early on for them. Too Easy about to have his Deadeye at the ready. Factor Fiction not having to use that Earth Shadow in the last one means that the ult advantage is firmly in favor of Faze for this next fight.
You take a look at Shadowburn. Shadowburn does get poked out a little bit before getting used. Death Blossom has to heal up before using it. Fighting Mendo, mano a mano right now to the right. And here comes Graviton in from Kai, trying to set up C9 with the Sound Bear. C9 is all in on this. Surefour gets 2 kills. And oh my goodness, Shadowburn gets slapped. No Death Blossom for him. And Surefour moving in will be at the cleanup that he's looking for.
Yeah, they're in trouble. They get hunted down to supports, and Too Easy in the back lines get picked up there. 95%. A preemptive Earth Shatter does come in from Factor Fiction trying to get to the point, but 100% on this point. That is going to be Cloud9 taking the first stage in control center of Lijiang Tower.
I mean, it does feel like some weird decision making. You have Shadowburn go on Genji, and you kind of know the Surefour or Mendo are going to be running McCree anyway. So to switch off from Genji to Reaper, you have Forsaken playing Zen and not Ana. So you don't have the Ana combo, and it's never going to be as good. Why don't you just let Shadowburn play Genji and play it out, or have Raucus switch back into Ana and have Forsaken play Zarya? You can only have one or the other, because if you have Shadowburn on Reaper and you don't have Ana, it kind of seems like a waste.
He did not really show up too big on the Reaper. He was only taking down Mendo here and there. And also, I agree with your point that it's not even really the Ana for me. I think you can run Reaper there if they're playing double tank or triple tank, or if their 2 tanks are playing really well and giving you trouble. I don't think necessarily Rib was a problem for Factor Fiction to deal with. He got himself in bad positions a couple times. Kai didn't exactly light the world on fire either, so what is your Reaper necessarily answering? They do go back to the Genji now. Shadowburn on the Genji, Too Easy on McCree.
Genji going right to the back line, got a pretty good Swift Strike out, hit about 3 to 4 people, has 32% ult charge, but here we go again, the one-on-one that was prophesized, Surefour versus Shadowburn. Shadowburn actually just shying away from it, doesn't want to take it. Factor Fiction, though, is punished by Surefour as he dives in a little bit too deep, and now the 65, this is where C9, they're going to bully a little bit more. They're going to push onto the point. They're getting firmer on, but Shadowburn, the deflection on the Surefour wasn't even Surefour's bullets that got deflected. Opens him up for the Dragon Blade, getting it up already. And Shadowburn gonna get the 3K off of that, and as a result, it's gonna be Faze taking this point.
I mean, you just go all in on Shadowburn, right? He gets the Zarya shield a couple times. Look at the Raucus glowing now as Shadowburn did eat all that damage. He got 2 allied shields during the duration of that. His primary target, of course, was Surefour. Took him out immediately. Once he was down, he just feasted on the rest of the team. Shadowburn even a mile away now, getting another allied shield. They are really prioritizing keeping him alive and healthy. And Raucus, because all the damage he's taken and dealt out because of that charge, now gonna have Graviton up for this next fight.
And Raucus can really set up Faze well here. Too easy to get open air with the Deadeye, and what better to set up the Deadeye than the Graviton? Skulls coming right up here, ends up taking out Ribs, so it's 1 pick off to start things out. Could have been worse, could have been better, but it's enough for Faze here. Surefour goes down, and now that means there is no check on Shadowburn, as he can roll right into the remainder of the C9 team if he so chooses. But C9, I think they know this, and that is why they're backing out to safety.
Yeah, Mendo even shadow stepped out of there. They lost 2, and they know that that fight is all but over. So they're going to wait and get some ultimates here. Already given a 50% charge. And the good thing is for Faze, they've not really had to use ultimates in these last couple fights. They got a couple kills on Fire Strike, things like that. I don't know if this is really the best angle. They got punished last time for trying to come in through Pack Room, but they're just going to kind of slow push their way in.
They have a lot of ultimates up. They're going to open up here with the Nano Boost, seeing if that will be enough. Surefour holding on the back, going to be dealing with Shadowburn. Will it be enough? Shadowburn looking for it. Yes, he is taken out by Mr. Wobbles. And here comes the Deadeye late in the fight from Surefour. Too easy, though. I was going to say from, but oh my goodness. The triple kill from Surefour. Patience paying off, but was it enough? Raucus is still charged up and just melts Surefour towards the end.
Well, they are going to get Raucus onto the point. He's trying to save this. He brings the Graviton in. He had full charge, but Rib hits a nice Fire Strike to take him down, but this is not enough for them to flip it over. Now Grego is back in here, as is Shadowburn. Shadowburn takes down Rib, so a brawl on the point as the reinforcements come in from Faze, but a late Graviton from Cloud9 should bring this back. God, so back and forth.
Well,
regardless,
C9 has to get onto a point one way or another, or they will be losing this round. It is in overtime. It is the mad last dash here. Surefour looking to take out Factor Fiction. Factor Fiction, so good at staying alive in those situations, finally will fall. But C9 now on the board, and now their challenge begins here, Hex, where if they want to go up 2-0 here on Lijiang, they're gonna have to hold for every last fight here on this round, which is easier said than done.
Short for with the patience on that Deadeye was the only reason they're even in this game, because they brought everything before that in some beautiful ultimates out of Forsaken first in the Transcendence and then Grego to keep them alive through the boosted Reaper, to keep them alive through all the damage, and then just not enough remaining to counter the Deadeye. But now they're going to push in. They just have to win one more fight. No ultimates on the board, but Shadowburn's about to get his up. Forsaken about to get his as well. Shadowburn takes down Short4. That has got to be the go sign.
It is absolutely the go sign because this blade is ready to be unsheathed. A 6v5 here from Faze, and Shadowburn is ready for that sweet, sweet cleanup. Going to that back line, and Soundbearer gonna kind of deny Shadowburn here, more so than I was expecting. Factor Fiction falls to Rib, and C9 coming back here with authority, looking like they might hold this after all. Shadowburn still up towards the end. It's bloody, but it definitely has still somewhat more of a C9 tilt.
Well, it's too easy, and Ruckus trying to bring
though.
it. Too easy takes down a couple, and here comes Factor Fiction
goodness.
with Ruckus on the point. They are trying to stall this out and flip it back over. They have to deal with this Lucio.
And that was a big play from Faze. Faze was definitely down in numbers there, but it was heroics coming up from Too Easy to really tilt that right back in Faze's favor. And now Faze, if C9's not able to put in overtime, that's going to be it. And just like that, off of those Too Easy plays on McCree, they turn a losing fight back in their favor, and as a result,
I mean, there you
round
go.
2.
I think that's what should have happened in the first round. I don't see why you switch off of Genji immediately. I think that this is how the comp will stay for the rest of King of the Hill. Even maybe 2 easy switches from McCree and Tracer.
It looked much better, and Ruckus played a really nice Zarya there. There were so many shields that kept his team alive. It wasn't only on Shadowburn early, but Too Easy late. Just great awareness from him, knowing when those shields need to go down for maximum impact, because not only is he keeping people alive, but he was at a very high charge most of that game, did a ton of damage, got his Graviton up several times, and I continue to be impressed by Factor Fiction in every phase of the game. Survivability, stalling out, everything he's doing is working.
Space jumps. Slasher?
Never mind, no pause.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Team's really quick on the pause trigger here, but either way, Shadowburn, Space Jumper no, immediately taken out by Kai. So first pick off here, gotta go the way of C9, and now this is a big opening for them. They can be way more aggressive. They can build up ult charge in advance and put themselves on the right foot here in the night market.
Well, Adam was rotating around thinking that they were going to try to get it into the door, and Adam wanted to go for the poop of a lifetime, getting 5 down over there, but they're just going to wait for reinforcements to come back here and kind of poke out in the yard. Ruckus, again, is simply glowing. Gotta be at a super high charge right now as he tries to rein in these mortar shots.
Right now, you take a look at the defense of C9. They are entrenched in, and if they can just survive for a little bit longer, they will be getting a good amount of ult up here in just a moment. Holding back Faze for now, doing a good job on the poke war. And Faze, they gotta be feeling some pressure to go in, but when you don't have ultimates to rely on, it's rough. They do have the Sound Bearer, though, and that might be the signal to go in just a moment. And what an Earth Shatter comes right in from Factor Fiction, knocks down 2, and that is absolutely the signal to go. But the counter Graviton is out, and C9 striking right back. Mendo in full force.
Yeah, Shadowburn was a little late to the party there. There were 3 on the ground, and he didn't get there until they were able to get back up, so not the cleanup available for them. Really still struggling on the alt front right now, but Ruckus, Too Easy, Shadowburn, Forsaken, all about to get there. Unfortunately, unable to capitalize on the really nice Earth Shadow from Factor Fiction, but he's going to be pushing forward in this slow push yet again. Too Easy, Deadeyes.
Too Easy gonna open up here with the Deadeye. Shadowburn looking to come over the top. Dragon Blade unsheathed once more. Looking for any pick off in the back, but getting stymied a bit by Mr. Wobbles and his Transcendence, so gonna be 0 kills off that Dragon Blade for Shadowburn. Adam has already taken out Factor Fiction, and Shadowburn lucky to get away with his life. Winston trying to end it right here and right now. But look at Too Easy, ends up with 3 kills and looking for more. Too Easy can absolutely turn this back the other way, looking for Adam. Adam, your parkour will not save you versus this cowboy.
Well, the Faze DPS works so well in concert, right? Because right now, Too Easy is just absolutely cleaning up. But a lot of that is because Shadowburn represents such a threat that you have to focus on him. And when you're not looking at McCree, that's when he shoots you in the back. Not the most honorable cowboy, but Too Easy with 4 kills there, late up on the cleanup. And yes, Shadowburn not necessarily showing up, but his threat and his name alone is enough to open things up for Too Easy, and he's taking advantage.
This is the Too Easy that we know can come out and be explosive. He's not explosive in every series or every day, but when it comes out, he can look like one of the very best in the game. And Luckily for Faze, that was too easy showing up right now. Deadeye coming up, all sorts of skulls lining up on the board. Does not result in quite the result he's looking for, but did soften things up. 2 kills coming out here from Ruckus and Fact or Fiction, and Faze still in the driver's seat, and they're going to keep control.
Yeah, Sound Barrier did end up negating a lot of that Deadeye, but Shadowburn is going to come in and try to slash through these people as he's getting the barrier up on himself. They're on the chase. Big chase coming in as they take down Wobbles, take down Kai. Wobbles just a little bit far forward on the Zenyatta, not expecting them to be pushing that far in, and now they're in a great position here. They've got control of the point. They're ticking pretty close. It should be about tied up next time they're coming in. Most importantly, Ruckus has his Graviton up, and it's great to deny entry here. I think that's what he's going to be looking for. There it is.
Graviton is coming up, and it sets up Shadowburn. This is going to be a cleave fiesta, but it is answered by the one and only Mr. Wobble's Transcendence. Ruined Shadowburn's party, and Kai with the counter-strike. So
chase.
6v5 now in favor of C9 as Primal Rage coming out. C9, all their chips on the table. Remember, if C9 wins this fight, they're probably going to take the round. They did get up to 85%, so good opening here from C9.
Yeah, full TPS down. Grego does go for a boof, only takes out Short 4 in it. He had 4 lined up, but not necessarily there. But the first 2 deaths were Shadowburn and Too Easy. That's never a great way to start a fight. 95% about to be on the clock for Cloud9, and they have to find a way just to even stall this out. It looks like it's going to be Shadowburn rotating around left side.
Shadowburn just going to get electrocuted there by Kai. And the last remnants of Faze almost certainly going to get weeded out here. Grego comes in at the sound barrier, but his team is dying all around him. Too Easy, he's had heroics before earlier in this map, but this is mission impossible with 2 tanks in his face. Nothing he can do but die as Mendo fully charged up, coming in for the cleanup.
That should be just about it. It has been a valiant effort to stall it out on the points, but it is too much as Cloud9 takes the lead on Lijiang Tower 2-1 over Faze.
I think the biggest impact there for me is Mendo going to Zarya, running that triple tank setup and letting kind of Surefour do his thing alone has worked out pretty well for them.
And just to clarify, by the way, just because people are still curious, Mr. Wobbles is Custa from Fnatic subbing in. But realistically, find his Twitter and tell him that the era of Custa is over. He should just become Mr. Wobbles. It's actually, so for me, I'm more of a Surefour person than a Tasumi person.
Right.
But I think in this case, you have to be Team Mr. Wobbles over Custa. That's just my take. But
I'm definitely still an Abridgeabup fan over Harry Hook, but I might be the only one.
all right, so we are back here to the control center. C9 up 2-1. We'll see if they can close it out here. And Surefour, no longer on the McCree, now taking up the mantle of Reaper. And Shadowburn, not on Genji, on Tracer. Switch ups all around.
Kai made Shadowburn's life miserable there. There were so many chases that he got on the Genji to take him down. So while he did have a decent opening to that and opened up a lot of space for Too Easy, it just wasn't enough. Shadowburn's going to just switch on to the Tracer instead. It has a much better opening gambit.
It is, in fact, a much better opening gambit in Faze. They will be taking first control, and Shadowburn, a little bit of a jack of all trades here tonight at different levels, where we've seen more variety out of him. Even though Genji's certainly been his bread and butter, he hasn't been afraid to swap things up, even seeing a Widowmaker at points.
Jack of all trades, master of one, and that one would be his Genji, but he's still able to get a lot of work done on his DPS heroes, and yeah, it's not like he plays poorly on the other ones, it's just that's how much we think of his Genji. Already with 92%, Fact or Fiction does die to a long-range wobble shot.
Well, Wobbles right now able to stay out of this Graviton. Big Bang is in progress. Doesn't do too much, but it is 2 kills here for Faze. Surefour, though, still alive. Now back to the McCree. Takes down Shadowburn. And here comes the sound barrier out from C9. It's C9, they think they have a shot taking this fight. Kai comes in here with the Graviton. Transcendent's going to neutralize the Death Blossom as both teams investing a lot into this fight. And again, I'm going to note, Surefour is still alive, and that is dangerous, especially as the fight gets into its latter stages.
Well,
Except
Too Easy
when found by Too Easy in a Winston. A beautiful counterflight coming out here from Faze, and that's going to let Faze take this fight.
Yeah, Surefour trying to get a little cute there as he thought everyone was going to be in the hallway, had their attention fixed. He was trying to rotate around the side. Little did you know there were 2 people in the corner. If there's a corner in the game, there's probably a Reaper in there. Just assume as much. And Reaper, Too Easy was hanging out there, just got 2 shots into his grill, and they're in complete control of this map. They have a lot of ultimates ready to work. Ruckus and Shadowburn looking to be comboing that next. If Rib is going to do anything impactful in this map, he's got to hit Nerve Shatter.
Graviton coming in, Pulse Bomb in as well. The Big Bang is out. Shadowburn picks up 3K as a result. Absolutely devastating coming out from FaZe. And now for C9, it's questionable if they're going to be able to get back here in time. 90% to the name of FaZe here. And if C9's going to be able to get here, they're going to have to give up all positioning. And Rib going to have to find a hero moment here at Earth Shatter. So he does get here onto the point, charges to the back, drops the Earth Shatter and gets absolutely nothing off that. Gets melted in progress. Sound Bear out here for the defensive phase, and this should let them hold, and they do just that. So this King of the Hill here on Lijiang will be going to a round number 5.
These are some great counter picks on both sides. Shadowburn going Tracer and forcing a lot of the issue on the Cloud9 that forces Custa to switch into Zen instead of Ana. Going to be going back into Ana now, and Mendo's going to be going back into Reaver, trying the double DPS setup again. I think Cloud9 is a little more taken off edge now than FaZe. FaZe actually has a little bit more of the confidence going in.
And again, I'm just going to beat this drum here just because it is so hilarious. Guys, you have the power here. Convince Custa that it's better for his brand as an esports celebrity to become Mr. Wobbles, to embrace the wobbles and all the wobble shots that he might be firing out there.
Here's what I'll say, is that I would never buy a Custa t-shirt. I would consider buying a Mr. Wobbles t-shirt.
Exactly. So both teams here trading out here once more. And C9 actually avoiding that early fight, going to be swapping route to the point. They want better positioning here, and they're going to make FaZe come to them instead. And I kind of like this command from C9. It's a good positional edge. We'll see if they can capitalize on it. Factor Fiction Eagle, all sorts of poke and a sleep. Lucky not to die there, as C9 absolutely winning this poke war right now, but they're not able to convert 8 kills off it, which means that, guess what? Support ults getting a bigger edge for the side of FaZe, and FaZe might be able to turn this right back around.
Factor Fiction coming in, trying to get aggressive on his Reinhardt. Shadowburn's got to be careful. He got himself in a little bit of trouble there on the outside, but he does get 3 eyes over on him. They're unable to capitalize on the attention that Shadowburn was able to draw. Shadowburn does get 1 kill, but it is in the cost of 3 of his own teammates dying. So Cloud9 did handle that rather well, able to hold on to this first point, and the ultimates are rather equal on both sides. And oddly enough, FaZe actually with a pretty big advantage as Shortfort switches heroes a couple times, can have 0%.
Rauton coming in here, Shadowburn brings out the blade, looking for the fall through, but gets slapped. That blade is going nowhere. Factor Fiction, however, taking down Mr. Wobbles pretty early on. Shadowburn recovering from his sleep, takes down Rib. And Shadowburn now starting to get something going here, and his Dragon Blade was never used. He got slept too early, which means he's going to have Dragon Blade up and at the right, but doesn't even need it to get the 3K on the point.
Factor Fiction with another great counter Earth Shatter. Rib has just been out Reinhardted this set so far by Factor Fiction, and there's no shame in that. Factor Fiction's been doing it to people all night, but the Earth Shatter came in from Rib. Factor Fiction just pivoted real quick and made sure it to knock him down and eliminated him. So his Earth Shatters have not necessarily been the initiators. They've been reactive, and they've been saving some of these fights.
Alrighty, so Shadowburn right now has Dragon Blade out there already, going to dash back in, looking for it, slices down Mr. Wobbles, but pays for it with his life. Share4 the immediate counter, and Share4 right now on the double kills, taking out both engines of DPS for this FaZe squad, which means he's going to be less harassed in the process. However, he's lost so many teammates that might be it. Fortunately, Tank's able to keep him back, and that's going to be FaZe retaining control.
2 main DPS, but then you still have Raucus with an enormous charge. Forsaken still does a ton of damage as well, so they do flip that. And Shadowburn has had enough of his Genji, though. He feels like he's gotten enough off of it already. Going to switch onto the Tracer, had great success with it on the last stage.
Schiffer right now hiding here behind the Reinhardt shield, has Deadeye at the right, and he's going for it. He'll take even just 1 skull if he can get it. Doesn't quite get it. Factor Fiction goes to the Earth Shatter. Gonna get punished in turn, but let's take a look at 2Easy. 2Easy has absolutely cleaned up when Share4 has been down. Let's see if he can do it again. Shadowburn in the back as Tracer, and overall, FaZe winning this fight.
Yeah, kind of interesting because they had the Graviton up and there was very little follow through on it, but they eventually, Shadowburn gets a little too big for his britches there. Mendo punishes him with the hook, but Raucus has got his back. Make sure that Mendo pays for picking on Tracer. So they are still holding this. A giant mortar takes out Short4. That is a brutal way to die.
And now it comes down to this. C9 fighting for their life here on Lijiang Tower. They need to bring this back. 93% for Faze. They have to get in the point. Here they go. They're on the way. Adam opens up here with the sound barrier. No other ults are on the table after Ribs, Earth Shatter, and Nano Boost. Moving in. They got 0 kills off of this Hex. Shadowburn took out Wobbles. 2 kills here from Faze, and Faze coming right back. Rock is about to have a Graviton, and it's a brawl, but a lot of potential outs here for Faze. And here's a Graviton from Raucus. Does set them up. Grego comes in with a little bit extra fall through, and it's going to be Raucus on the 3K, rocking the point, and Faze taking the map.
It's just some top-tier tank play out of Faze. Slasher, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Factor Fiction's playing great. I also have to give huge testament to both Forsaken and Grego for doing that much healing without Ana, while Rib is as Ana with Custa, and they're still able to make it work and not have to go Winston for the majority of these maps. So I think Factor Fiction deserves a ton of love and credit, along with Grego and Forsaken, to make it in, work with Reinhardt and not Ana. That 50,000 damage blocks.
That is a lot of damage getting blocked
insane.
there. Rib showing his E-League chops.
And honestly, Raucus, for being the support player, doing pretty well on Zarya for these last games.
He looks very comfortable on Zarya. Because I don't know if he plays it in his spare time when he's not a matches, but he looks like a natural at it. All right, Cloud9's map pick.
C9 now back against the wall. They did have that 1-game edge coming in from upper bracket, but things are going from bad to worse for them right now. They're going to have to win the next 2 maps outright, and they're going to bring us to Hollywood, where C9 generally pretty comfortable on this map, but they got to be feeling a little bit of extra pressure with how this has gone thus far.
I mean, for sure, because coming in, I thought Cloud9, of course, with the 1-game advantage, got to be feeling pretty good. And with the way the draft went, and the way the previous series went, I think they thought... And I thought that they would at least be up 2-1 by now. But now the back's against the wall, 2-1. I mean, they had a pretty good game on Hollywood earlier, and Surefour made that Fire Mercy work, especially with how I think Too Easy was playing McCree, and especially that he was on Roadhog, that forced Shadowburn on McCree. The Too Easy actually had a really good game just then on McCree. So I think if they try to do that again, it'll actually be a problem with the way Too Easy's playing.
Hollywood is interesting because I think Cloud9 has a history of being very good on it, but that was almost a different time and era. I thought that Faze played decent on it. A lot of this comes down for Faze to me of which Too Easy on Hollywood is going to show up. I feel like his offense on Hollywood has been good. His defense on Hollywood has been suspect at times, where he just kind of does not show up. And there were some times where they got bullied out by a combo play too. So Surefour, if he does bust out that combo with Adam and takes to the sky, it's going to be interesting to see how they react to it, because that was something that they struggled with reacting to earlier. So on offense, I think Faze's Too Easy is good. On defense, Faze's Too Easy has had some rough games and has some predictable tendencies. So we'll see which Too Easy version we have here. But a lot of this Faze team, as always, comes down to how well Too Easy's going to play and how well he's going to adjust. But it would not surprise me to go to a map 5 here.
I think
we did mention earlier in the day, even when Faze lost to C9, that looked like Too Easy was having a good day, and there's no reason to change that perception right now, where he's just been getting better as the day has gone on, had huge plays in on McCree, and I agree, it's creating some matchup problems here for C9 that they probably would rather not deal with. And again, for C9, backs are against the wall. This is a must-win situation for them, or they will be losing this tournament to Faze. And Faze, they got to be feeling pretty good about the situation they've put themselves in.
Well, his one notable standout bad stage was Hollywood defense, in my opinion. He had 3 lives in a row where he died about 10 feet outside of spawn trying to run a McCree and just got dunked on by Farah several different times.
Wait. Slasher, got to put on Spooky Hollywood. It is Halloween.
What?
I didn't realize you could not choose Spooky Hollywood.
I don't know if teams really want that.
No. Spooky Hollywood's lame.
Really? Is this what's going to happen here?
I know, it's a bad version of the map. No.
All right.
Wow, just killing all the fun. Well, if the teams don't want it, Slasher feels so struggling, we'll
you
go
do
normal
have to
Hollywood.
just flip those team names and then hit the start.
I'm on it. I think the X factor to me has got to be Mendo. and how well he plays, because he is the new star DPS player of the team, and if they're going to want to win this series and tournaments going on, forward, he's going to have to play to that star potential that he's been known for.
Mendo has definitely been up and down within the series alone, where he's had his moments where he comes out huge. And when this newer C9 roster with the tryouts has done well, it's been a case where one fight it's Mendo going off, the next fight it's Surefour going off. Today, in general for C9, it's been a whole lot of Surefour going off overall.
Mendo's, I think, been a little bit more in the flex role. I mean, he told me he had a fever earlier, so maybe he was sick. I'm not here to be his excuse person, okay?
Well, you're fulfilling that role right now, just so you know. That is what you are right now.
Yeah, I know. I see that.
Not like the first time Mendo's had an excuse, though. Like, I don't know. Mendo's been sick for several tournaments, has insomnia for a lot of tournaments, so I love Mendo. I think he's a great player, but I don't know. Unless I can feel his forehead, I'm not buying it.
Why would you say that? Like, do you even know what you've just unleashed in Twitch chat? Hex just wants nothing more than to walk over to Mendo and caress his forehead. But either way, take it. Yes.
Hex does not want to have to go through an unmolestation phase again. So I don't know if he'd like to do that.
It's a perfectly cromulent word. It's, vocabulary embiggens the spirit.
Well, either way, taking a look here at the defense coming out here from Faze. It's going to be Grego here on the Lucio, Raucus on Zarya, Factor Fiction on Reinhardt, Shadowburn on Genji, Forsaken on the Zenyatta, and Too Easy going to be on the McCree. And why not with how they've been playing Shadowburn and Too Easy, arguably on their two best heroes. We'll see if this defense works out here for Faze.
Well, they already take some damage, but the poke damage, as you mentioned before. Yes, it's nice to get the Fire Strike and get your Earth Shatter that much closer, but look at this already. Adam, 35% on Ana after one Fire Strike eaten by his team.
Offense right now not to be deterred, though, and again, Surefour the X Factor here in the Hanzo. Hanzo always a threat to get the early pickoffs here, and something that Too Easy has to be particularly careful on. Hanzo, if nothing else, loves feasting on a McCree that's trying to counterpoke, so a little bit back and forth by both teams, just looking for that early edge.
Too Easy rotated around the stairs onto the high ground at about the 10-second in mark. That's exactly what he does every time on Hollywood. He does not get punished for it. Surefour, though, with a beautiful entry kill, takes down Forsaken with an arrow.
Gets the double! He got Shadowburn out of nowhere, but the Earth Shatter coming in perhaps a little bit late here for the defense. Factor Fiction, he's been a rock, but that is just a little bit too much to ask, as Shadowburn just did way too much damage to recover from.
All right, well, that is going to be first point rather easily taken in a very successful Hollywood attack, mostly off the back of Surefour getting some clutch kills on his Hanzo, able to take down a giant support kill on the entry. That would have been enough, but then he followed up by killing Shadowburn as well. So Surefour having himself a Shimada show, but Factor Fiction takes down Surefour with a long-distance Fire Strike. Factor Fiction has used this entire kit to impressive capabilities.
Absolutely. Effective Fiction in general, just having a great day overall. And Faze, they're holding this pretty far up. They're not really using the high ground to their advantage here just yet. They're willing to just brawl it out here on the streets. And take a look, Defense Vault's coming up. They do have Sound Barrier, Dragon Blade, so they can take the fight right to C9 for the next fight. C9, of course, they do have Dragon Strike. They don't have a Graviton with it. C9 might just have to eat the next fight here, because you look at the ults, Faze is ready to go. Everything up, a full tank in all ways. And they're just waiting for their moment. And oh my goodness, it's gonna be Rib opening things up instead as Surefour goes in, gets a double kill, no drag requirement, but Too Easy! The counter! A 4K for Too Easy! Shuts down C9 right in the act.
It was looking so good for Surefour. He was just living on top of the world, but Too Easy. My question was, is defensive Too Easy gonna show up? That is a huge 4K answer.
My goodness. Too Easy continuing the storyline of him just having a great series, a great day overall. And Too Easy always complains that he's like, oh, you give all the props to Shadowburn. No, we give props to Too Easy as well when he has the plays.
Well, they start off with some trades there as Rockus takes down Short 4 in the back line. They're going to use this sound barrier to try to get this fight going. Mendo busts out as Whole Hog not finding the purchase he's looking for so far as Too Easy gets another kill. There were 3 in the Graviton, but no one there for the follow-ups. Too Easy takes down Kai. Now Rockus is going to press the issue as he runs forward.
Too Easy just landing shot after shot. Got a little bit crazy on his flashbang, but it does not matter when he's aiming like this. Again, just big plays coming for Too Easy, burning valuable time at the clock. Still 3 minutes left here for C9, so it's not like they're doomed or anything like that, but you take a look at the time, at least another minute is going to be burned off by this big ultimate surplus that FaZe finds themselves in.
He says we praise Shadowburn too much, but Shadowburn's had a really bad game so far. So much so he switched on to Genji. He tried to get in the backline, or switch off of Genji. He tried to get in the backline twice, died immediately both times. He's on a Tracer now. Instead, Short 4 does take on Too Easy with his own Deadeye.
Too Easy gets taken down despite the ult surplus here from FaZe. It's not working out. Sure 4 busting through, has taken down 2, and is looking for a little bit more here. It has the 3K, and Sure 4 just wheeling C9 through here. 4 big kills coming out from his McCree.
Not a ton to work with for FaZe as they re-enter this, but Factor Fiction has done more with less in his time, so he's got an Earthshatter at the ready, one of the only ultimates on the board here. However, the high ground has already been taken by Wobbles and Short 4, who are going to try to pepper and damage up top. No great answer for it so far.
Sure 4 being up top here is one of the better spots for McCree. It's super annoying to get him out. It's like the infestation that does not go away. Factor Fiction, though, able to get to the backline, takes down Adam, and if you can go around the back and take away all support, that's one way of dealing with it, but it's relatively even. It's 4v4 right now. It's Too Easy, or Sure 4 still on the top, takes down Rockus, and just being uncontested, finds Forsaken as well. Really, this has to be dealt with. Sure 4 getting hit right back. Oh my goodness, Grego. Tend to take matters into his own hands, drops a sound barrier, and will be keeping C9, or keeping... Oh my goodness, old habits die hard. Keeping FaZe in this fight.
Well, Shadowburn finally shows up, drops a nice pulse bomb at the end to finish that fight, but this might be a time where Shadowburn should be on the Reaper instead, even though they don't have an Ana. They are running triple tank, and Kai on that Winston would be a juicy target for him, so there's a lot of people who die very quickly to Reaper in this situation. But Shadowburn, even though he is switching, gets off of the Tracer, goes back onto the Genji. He had very little success on the Genji, probably trying to reverse that trend, but they do need someone to control the high ground, so I don't hate it.
We set the stage earlier in saying that this is where Mendo needs to have big breakout plays. This is his moment. He's about to have a Graviton up with under a minute left. This is where you expect your Zarya to find the right angle, to get in and get a Graviton that will set you up for victory here. So, a lot riding on Mendo right now. Does have Graviton up. How's it going to go down? Waiting for it. Drops a Graviton. Only gets in 2. We'll see if that's enough as the fight is going to be joined. Sure 4 immediately in, takes down Too Easy, his counterpart. Not gonna have to worry about the Too Easy turnabout. Looking for Forsaken, grabs him. 2 kills here from Sure 4. And Mendo's Graviton was enough. It wasn't the world's best Graviton, but it did its job, and that's all that matters as the payload will keep moving forward.
Yeah, they get every single kill that they want there. Shadowburn is at 70%, so he is not switching on to the Reaper. It would make a ton of sense. Short 4 does win that Cowboy one-on-one against Too Easy, so that's going to slow down spawns. Not necessarily the biggest of deals. Teams generally don't want to fight in the open space as this card goes down, but they will try to post up here in the hallway. Factor Fiction did not end up burning an Earthshatter in the last fight, so we'll have that ready for the next fight. The tank play, which carried them so far on the control mode, needs to show up here on payload. Rockus and Factor Fiction with it ready to go.
Graviton Surge coming in here from the defense. Rock is looking to set them up and does. Factor Fiction having a party. Swings the hammer right in. Gonna be 4 kills here and more from FaZe. They stop C9 in their tracks again, and C9 now stuck with only 1 push left. A almost bankrupt ult bank. Shadowburn with Dragon Blade and Grego on Sound Barrier. It doesn't get much worse than this. I mean, Sure 4 has been Superman at points tonight, but this is all sorts of rough. Step number 1 here is going to be neutralizing Shadowburn, who will be bolstered by that sound barrier. Easier said than done. But hey, Mr. Wobbles is dead.
Yeah, it's a very nice pick in the backline, so you take a great angle to it. They also get an Earthshatter. Factor Fiction takes Short 4 on a mile-long ride all the way back towards his spawn. They should not get a little too greedy here. They did get 4 kills, but they're going to back out here. That was a bit of a junk rush on the side of Cloud9. I mean, I guess as you call it anyway. They are going to have 5 ults for this next fight, though, so they will have a bit of an advantage going into this one. 15 seconds left, do or die time for Cloud9.
C9 is going to have to make this work. Step one, Surefour here on the Deadeye, looking for just a single pickoff. One skull is good enough. Not going to get it. Has to sell for the Reinhardt shield. Chases down Reinhardt in turn, but here comes Too Easy, dead of his own. Gets on the Surefour. Ultimates flying on both sides. A little bit more, though, for the side of C9. Mendo's Graviton sets up for 4 kills, and that is going to open the path for C9. We're in overtime. They don't care. And now it's up to Faze here for last-second stall to try and regroup and stop C9 from capping out this map.
It won't show up in the kill feed, but Kai did an enormous amount of damage into that Graviton. Winston Cleave is such a great follow-up to just really soften all the targets up. Shadowburn goes down very early, even on his Diva body. Grego going down too. Here comes a desperation Graviton. Do they have the horse, like, the damage to follow this up? They do not, as every member of Faze continues to die. They will finish out this map with 0 seconds on the clock.
And just to note how important that was, remember that C9 is playing for their tournament life here. They lose Hollywood, they're out. If they had gotten held before second, or even before last, you could argue that Faze right now would be in a golden opportunity to finish it out, and they still are, because remember how time bank system works here. If they're able to get to the end of the map with more than a minute remaining, there's no extra time that gets allotted to C9. So C9, they not only have to hold here, they need to hold for long enough that they don't end up in a situation where FaZe can play for the win and they don't get a counter opportunity of their own.
Yeah, considering how dire it looked for Cloud9 in that second to last fight to begin the third point, I thought FaZe was going to hold it right there. And if the cart doesn't move that far in the last point, then FaZe is a really good opportunity to close out the set and win the tournament right here. But because Cloud9 was able to win out the map, then they put themselves in a pretty decent position. No, there is no more time. They're not going to get an extra minute if FaZe finishes, but they've still given themselves enough leeway to make things happen. I do find it also interesting that there was no Ana. There was no Ana for either team for the last half of that map, and to start off, it doesn't seem like there's going to be an Ana here either. Considering how strong Ana is, got to question that a little bit. Maybe that they're trying to focus too hard on Shadowburn, at least in Cloud9's end.
I think you have a double focus here on Shadowburn, really, because it's part of the reason why Forsaken is on, is so he can orb Shadowburn and all the rest. Part of the reason why Wobbles is on it is so he can boost Surefour even more, have the Discord orb, and all the rest. Safe to say, with all the Zen play, it's probably not a safe area for Pharah on either side. We'll see how things work out here as we see FaZe take to the attack. C9, tournament life on the line, needs to come out with a strong defense here if they want to stay alive.
Shadowburn has about 2 lives to get something going on Genji, I think, before he has to switch into a Reaper. Again, they're running triple tank. They did not switch onto it last time early enough, in my opinion, but didn't switch onto it at all. I still think Reaper would be good here. Too Easy and Shadowburn actually playing both flankers, trying to get in the back line. They get hooked. Shadowburn does take down Rib, but that's not the target he was looking for. Takes down Kai, though. Takes down 2 tanks immediately on his Genji, making me eat my words.
Shadowburn coming in strong. No fear, no hesitation. Just got right in. Going even deeper. Full Inception Genji right now. As the fated fight is underway, Surefour versus Shadowburn ends up being a 2-on-1 that FaZe is going to take with authority. And this is all sorts of bad for C9. They need to at least buy some time on first. And that's about as quick as you can expect. And now, ult-wise, Shadowburn is going to be able to really open up Streets Phase with what might be an unanswered Dragon Blade.
What I had meant to say is that Genji is the best anti-tank hero in the game, and under no circumstances should Shadowburn switch to Reaper. But that was the kind of life he needed to convince me that it's the right choice. It's his best hero. And they're so far ahead in ults right now. Shadowburn and Forsaken on the cleanup crew in that last fight are going to be so close to getting a combo off here before most of the teams even at 50%. Rib hits a huge strike though to get him up there, and there goes Too Easy down to a hook from Mendo.
Too Easy dying pretty early here. They'll only delay FaZe a little bit, and this is where, again, C9 has to be careful. You look at all the ults that are piling up right now for the FaZe side. Too Easy already back in. Graviton is going to be dropped here in just a moment, and Shadowbird is just going to be ready to space jump his way in, and that's exactly what he does. Even reflects the flashbang. What finesse coming in from Shadowburn. Sunbear does come out here from the defense. Followed up by a hook by Mendo, trying to keep sanity, but there's the Graviton. Too Easy in the back, big bang combo out. Sets up Raucus for the double kill, and that is going to be a full wipe coming out in favor of Faze.
Not the enormous highlight kill feed light up that you generally see with the Big Bang, but everyone was so healthy. Tracer only got the 1 kill, but trust me, that was a ton of damage there. Too Easy so good on his pulse bomb timings in there to make sure that they're at their most vulnerable point when it does detonate. Raucous with a simple click cleans up the rest.
All right, so Faze pressing once more, and Shadowburn, he is swapped up now. He's on the McCree, no longer on Genji. Didn't like some of what he was dealing with between the McCree and the hook. And Surefour gonna take him out. I don't know if he wants to get into a cowboy battle with Surefour. Seems to be a losing proposition from what we know both players. Still though, 5v5 right now on the point. Surefour under pressure from both ends as Raucous and Fact or Fiction. Tank play from Faze, holding it strong. Raucous lit up like a Christmas tree right now, and he is getting in Surefour's face, going to treat him to the laser and melt it right off. 5 minutes remaining now for Faze. And again, remember, if they cap this with more than a minute remaining, C9 doesn't get another chance to put points on the board, so this is absolutely huge right now for Faze.
Raucous has been so impressive all night. I mean, on this Zarya, that's not even what he played for the first 5 hours of this tournament. He had one of the best Ana games I've ever seen off anyone, and now his Zarya is not missing a beat. They are crushing it with it. They have the huge ult advantage yet again.
Raucous moving in, holding on to the Grouton. Grouton gonna come out, pulls in 2. Reinhardt gonna charge in for good measure, but Surefour with the counter. Had the Deadeye, got 2. Fans for another, and Surefour taking matters into his own hands. Too Easy though, giving a little bit of trouble with that crouch spam, but not enough. Surefour ending the Tracer games, and all right, Raucous tried to do his best Too Easy impression, but he will also get bopped in turn.
The tragic part of that push for them is that they did burn ults to do it, and Too Easy completely shut it down by Surefour completely shut it down by himself. So they did have to burn a nice Graviton there. Too Easy is going to switch onto the Reaper instead of the Tracer now, perhaps trying to get some high ground here, perhaps trying to finish it out. But as you mentioned, there's 3 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. A lot of time to work with your Surefour McCreeping up top. No one sees him yet.
Surefour is up top, and he takes down Shadowburn again. I gotta say, I don't like this McCree swap up for Shadowburn. He's gotten very little done here. Needs to stop because Surefour is gonna feast on him all day long at this rate.
They need to switch their DPS right now. They need to swap roles. Too Easy needs to be on McCree. Shadowburn needs to be on Reaper if those are the 2 heroes they want to run. But since they've made these switches to heroes, they've gotten absolutely nothing done.
Well, this change up is here. There it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have Genji coming out for Shadowburn. Too Easy on the McCree, and they fooled around a little bit too long, Matt, but looks like they've righted the ship. Still, though, you look at the defensive ults here. Mendo, big chance of win, a very big team fight. Grouton coming in, pulls in 3, ends up with 4 in the very end, and that is going to be C9 rolling over Faze once more as they really restabilize. Big Grouton by Mendo to set that up.
And yet again, you will not see Kai's super in that kill feed, but he did the majority of that damage, so much so that might even be play of the game there, because he sat in the back line cleaving on 4 for a solid 3 or 4 seconds in that Graviton. The main damage dealer in that. Winston's cleave so valuable as a primary follow-up to that. However, Faze now getting towards their ultimate phase yet again, despite their DPS having to switch. Here comes a Ana-boosted Reinhardt though.
Reinhardt moving in once more. Rib trying to make some space. Shadowburn though, taking out the threat in the back. Surefour is down. Rib on a big charge, does take out 1, but Faze, more momentum than they've had in a while. Shadowburn about to have another Dragon Blade up in just a moment. He pops it out, no hesitation, goes in for Mendo, looking for more. A full wipe coming out here from Faze as Faze keeps this cart moving forward. C9 on the back foot. Surefour not gonna have a whole lot of meat here to really support him as he tries to come out. I mean, he's great at these situations, but only if he can make some space.
Kai goes down very early. Shadowburn does get the cleanup on it. The Beam Heroes trying to get Rib off of this Diva. They do get a Sound Barrier to try to finish out this fight. Some of the targeting is not ideal as the Surefour is able to take down Too Easy. Another Ana boost on a Diva.
Surefour right now is unleashed. No one is on in the back. Deadeye coming up. It is high noon. Has to cancel it because look out. Shadowburn in the back. Catches him unaware. And here comes another Dragon Blade. Shadowburn going in deep. And now, here's the key. They finish with over a minute left. I don't know why Surefour's saying GG's. It's not over yet. We're not on...
3-3.
Surefour now realizes. Anyways, so here's what's going on here. C9 gets 0 attempts to bring this back.
Yes.
None. It's a full minute 24 for free here to Faze to take first and take the championship.
So,
but
no, go ahead.
I was gonna say, but if they don't, then it's gonna be a draw, and we'll move on to the next map.
Gibraltar.
For me, I do not think Mendo has gotten enough done on Roadhog. You need to get picks, and I don't feel like he's done it so far. Not only that, but it's like an ult battery. I mean, yeah, it gives ult for your team, but the other team's able to build ults off of it too. I would almost rather see him go Zarya and let Kai play Winston, and I think that's gone a lot better for them. Not loving the start defense here, Cloud9.
Well, I will say just on another note, though, that, again, the tank play for this Faze team has been out of this world. Yes, Shadowburn did show up in the kill feed, but the penultimate fight was largely decided by Factor Fiction hitting an Earth Shatter, Raucus getting in their face with a high charge Zarya, and they were just wrecking that team towards the end. So if Mendo does feel like they need to switch, I think, again, I mean, I know I'm sounding a little bit broken, but a Reaper might be a good answer because Factor Fiction and Raucus are doing the majority of work on this team.
All right, so here we go. About 2 team fights up here for Faze to grab this first point, or we're going to Gibraltar. We'll see just what they have in store here. And take a look at Kai on the high ground, Zarya. Unique positioning for Zarya. Shadowburn just trying to counter poke it, which is a bit odd. Oh my goodness, super jumping right up and getting pulled right down. Mendo with the counter hook, but Shadowburn still staying alive. His teammates all over him and protecting him. Factor Fiction on the rib, and Faze starting to crack this open. 5v5, but you gotta like the momentum for Faze here thus far.
Factor Fiction taken down in the backlines, though, is going to really hurt their chances of finishing this out. Raucus trying to kill Short4. They do burn out a sound barrier, though, but not really the phase of the game where you need to worry about wasting ults. They are all dead. 1 push left, otherwise we're drawing Hollywood.
Here's the thing. Kai wasn't able to build a Graviton in time.
Guess who was?
He might get it towards the end here if he can hit 1 secondary fire on someone, but that's questionable. Raucus is going to have his Graviton.
Yeah, they both have theirs. The wall is going to slow them down a little bit. They don't need to panic here, though. Still a couple seconds. Wow, now they should panic.
Can they touch a point? Tracer will get to that point. Counter Graviton is out, but it's 3 kills. Short4 just freezing everyone. A 4K for May of all heroes in the very end. Hello, Short4. Hello, Draw. And we are going on to Gibraltar. And note for C9, if they want to win the series, they will have to revisit Hollywood.
Mendo got the picks he needed. He killed Adam. To kill Grego to begin that fight. Got another pick later on. He needed to hit those hooks, and we're continuing on in this grand finals.
It's not over yet.
Fire at will.
So Faze had a chance to put C9 away. You don't get a better chance than that, and unfortunately for them, they weren't able to convert, so C9 staying alive.
We'll go with Dorado, and I believe, I don't know how we pick sides.
Is it Dorado or Gibraltar?
It's Gibraltar. My bad, I misspoke.
Yeah, Gibraltar.
Because I was willing to take the L there if I was wrong, but all right, so going to Gibraltar.
Well, this is an interesting map because it's a map that I feel both teams are good at and both teams are practiced at. I think one of the last times we saw them clash on Gibraltar, we did see Short4 bring out a Soldier 76 trying to take high ground on top of the shuttle. He got bodied pretty hard by Shadowburn, who just kind of really took that point away from him. ZP made the point that if you're going to be running that and taking the top of the shuttle, then you still would probably be better off running the McCree.
Yes.
So we'll see if Short4 does heed that advice.
Particularly when you look at the McCree, and it's Short4's McCree, not just any McCree. And there was one point where Short4 had just a world-beating 76, no doubt about it. But it's one of those cases where 76 isn't all that strong right now, which is why he's getting big buffs in the next patch, and probably would still be better advised staying away from it.
I mean, my keys for this map are Shadowburn and Short4 going to be running Hanzo on offense, and are Too Easy and Mendo going to be running Hog on defense or offense. I think that we've seen Roadhog do so much work on this map before, And we've seen Hanzo get a ton of picks at times and completely open up first point, which can be quite difficult at times. Or will they decide to go, standard Genji for Shadowburn?
Uh-oh. Who is friends with Chris Cool and why is he joining our lobby? Okay, he's left the lobby. I have no idea who Chris Cool is.
I am because I make sure that he can't get in my game. But I don't know how to make sure he can't join.
Well,
anyway, let's get Faze onto defense here, and we'll get it going. Chris Cool notwithstanding. Not very cool.
Chris Cool not welcome this lobby. I mean, he might be the coolest person around, but
no, he steals stream all the time and Q snipes him and trolls him. It's actually terrible.
So you're saying he's not actually cool, but he's still on your friends list.
Awful person.
But still on your friends list.
Yes, because I make sure he's not in my game.
Oh, it's that counter where you look is like before queuing. Oh, yes. He's queuing. No. All right.
I got the straps.
You got that entire competitive meta going there where beware the Trojan friend request, especially if it comes from Slasher. Is he your friend or does he just want to avoid you? The world may never know. Oh my goodness. Well, we are getting ready to go here. Watchpoint Gibraltar going to be the next map as right now Faze looking to close out C9.
I think also that I have liked Cloud9 running the Zen Ana combo this entire time. Now, with Rolf not being in the game, does that change things at all? I don't think it should. I feel like they should still continue to run Zen Ana, which won them the games earlier. They've been deciding to kind of go Zen Lucio recently. And on this map, there is some concern where if you don't take the first fight or the second fight because of how long it takes to get from spawn back to the ship, especially if you push the ship almost to the end at first point, that you only have then, you probably have one or two less fights throughout this phase if that doesn't happen. So I am going to be wondering if Cloud9 is going to be running Zen Ana or they're going to decide to do Ana Lucio, Zen Lucio to start off with. What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at me? What happened?
No, not laughing. I muted my microphone while blowing my nose and just see the reaction to different things. And that was not on stream, so no one heard any laughing. But, oh my goodness. It's been a long day.
All right, Fave's ready. We're going.
We just need to finish up within the next hour and a half, because every place that sells food will be closed after 2 a.m. That's my only concern.
Not in New York. 4 a.m., baby.
Is this a case where you're just rubbing his...
that are open till 4, but I don't want to take a train to go grab something to eat. I want to walk in my neighborhood.
1 block away. 4 a.m.
So we got a little bit of New York versus Chicago rivalry going on here between Hex and Slasher. You know, it's okay. We all know that Chicago has the better pizza. Actually, I don't take sides of pizza war, but I just want to fan the flames.
Totally disagree. New York pizza is far superior to Chicago, but we do own the hot dog better than any other city.
You can have it. It's fine.
You can have Slasher not even impressed by the mastery of the hot dog, just doesn't even care. But about stuff that people should care about as the Faze defense is rolling out. It might be early for Gibraltar defense, but Shadowbird does not care. Will be repping the Genji once again. Forsaken on the Zarya, Factor Fiction on the Reinhardt, Raucus on Ana, Grego gonna be on Lucio, and Too Easy. Rounding things out, gonna be looking for those picks on the Hog.
Now, last time that Shadowburn got picked within the first 15 seconds, he went immediately onto Reaper. Have to wonder if he will decide to do that again or kind of stick it out on Genji D.
All right, Shore4 is gonna run an offensive Genji, which is interesting. So we will have some Genji v Genji battles. Factor Fiction up in a very aggressive position here. I don't know if he's gonna go for one of those really interesting charges early on, or if they're gonna try to set Too Easy up behind him to go for a hook. Nope, he's just trying to hit an early fire strike. Very interesting position for Factor Fiction. Gonna have to rotate out though.
Alrighty. Well, will be the battle of Genji, Shadowburn versus Shore4, both battling for control of ninjutsu. And right now, pretty standard stuff coming out for C9, just pushing the cart. We'll see if they decide to go over the top or through, but just between both Genjis here, trying to build for assault, and Shore4 well on his way when compared to Shadowburn. Not something you see too often with how much Shadowburn plays on Genji, but C9 in a pretty good spot as they get continual payload progress.
Oh, nice hook in, takes Mendo really out of position. They are unable to finish that up, though, as Mendo's going to get healed up in the back lines. Factor of Fiction shield about to crack as they try to go in. Still pretty bloodless. Another giant hook comes on to Short4. Short4 able to dash away. The support's really erasing the stakes from their team right now.
They absolutely are. Short4 still alive due to that support play. Gets the back line, and here comes Nano Boost. Factor Fiction on a roll. Knocks down 4 people. What an earth shatter. Just devastation coming out from this Reinhardt's hammer. Mendo able to pull it back a little bit. Takes out Factor Fiction, and C9, like I said, it's kind of hard to get them out once they're in. And good recovery, honestly, for how that started with a 4-person earth shatter.
They've also been so hurt this entire time. They're taking so much damage. They are going to get Sound Barrier here on the defense, try to bring this back. As Factor Fiction does rotate in, Short4 does get the Dragon Blade out, takes out Forsaken very early, but Shadowburn, in turn, with 2 easy, takes out Short4 the threat, and he's going to whole hog to ensure that that is not going to be a push that is continuing. Only 2 tanks alive, and Rib and Kai trying to bring back in here. They have to be careful. I think they're about to feed their lives in.
They might be feeding their lives. This is the eternal fight, but the defense coming back and strong. 2 easy with the hook to set things up. And now with 2 minutes left, things might be starting to get a little bit grim for C9. I mean, yes, they have 3 to 4 pushes remaining. They have a sound barrier, but they really needed to get that through there. That was their best opportunity. And you don't know what's going to happen here between a Nano Boost, potential on Shadowburn, more Dragon Blades. This could end up bad. Oh my God! What a hook on the Short4 from 2 easy. He is feeling it right now. Is that Harblue?
He got the flashbang too. Shadowburn was up top, got punished, but Shadowburn able to dive off of the top. Short4 exposed himself, going for that pick onto Shadowburn, but he is the one who was picked in turn. That's going to slow down the next push. You don't want to do it without your top DPS.
All right, and Faze now in an even better position just because of Short4 having to get back. McCree, not exactly the swiftest of dudes in getting back to the fight. 3 ultimates up here for C9, 3 up for Faze, and Forsaken. Been talking a lot about his Grautons all night, and he has a chance for a game-winning, series-winning Grauton potentially. He does it well. Grauton is going to come out, pulls in 4. Is the flop going to be there? Shadowburn is in, has the Nano Boost. Doesn't get as much as he wants. 0 kills off that Graviton. No fighting. Caster's Curses says Factor Fiction. Comes in with the Earth Shatter, knocks down 2. C9 down 1 player, but still persistently hanging on.
Too easy gets his whole hog out there trying to get some damage going on. Adam with a killing blow on him as they continue to trade out down there. Short4 is getting a couple kills. There goes Shadowburn. Credit to Adam again with another kill. Now they have the huge numbers advantage. 4v2 on the point. Rock is doing his best to keep Forsaken alive, and he's doing a lot of work. They're going to try to stall this out.
They get out in time. They're speeding out. They're not giving this up. They have Dragon Blade. They can speed out on some point. They have a Nano Boost. Here they go. Is this foolhardy? Is it not? Short4 stop Shadowburn right in his tracks. Not gonna have any part of that in C9. Not giving in easily. Not going quietly into that good night. And they are punishing Faze, and they're gonna get into this hanger phase.
I have a lot of respect for Forsaken and 2 easy. I do not think they can 2v6 that given what they were going into. And now Raucus gets cursed with the bad spawn cleaned up very early. That's going to be tough for them too. So they only have 5 people alive in this fight. Short4 rotating around on the left side, trying to get in great position as the McCree does take a high ground early. No, just gives up on it. Trying to get to the top of the shuttle.
And this is a little problematic here for Faze, and that's a case where I didn't want Caster's Curse Forsaken, but he didn't get that much off the Grauton. It got a lot of people in it, but they weren't ready for a fall through, and that's part of the skill in landing good Grautons, making sure it's a good situation for your team. So we'll see if Faze can recover. They're at least doing some degree of job in recovering right now, but you look at C9, they have a whole lot of ults here on the menu and a good potential of keeping this going forward. Kaikai's going to look for this Grauton, Short4's going to look for those happy little skulls. Grauton is out. So is the Deadeye, but 2 easy. Stop Short4 from just unloading on his team.
While Factor Fiction takes out his counterpart in Rib, Ferguson through the back line, and Shadowburn does get the killing blow on it. There's a nice Graviton. Do they have the follow-up for it? Now 3 people caught up in it. They do dash through it, get a couple kills. That was the Graviton and the follow-up that they needed. They are on the chase, still looking for more. Want to punish Short4 for being all alone out here.
Short4's still alive. It's so hard to kill Short4 sometimes. Like, just the fact that he lived there with all that chase down.
It's not like McCree has mobility or escape options. What was that?
Look, just Short4 magic. His inner Tsumi coming out. Don't worry about it.
Well, Faze is absolutely stabilized here, but they are facing off against more ultimates. The big ultimate combination up is Raucous and Shadowburn. If they do get aggressive upon Kai in great position up over the top, I think he's going to try to jump in, get some speed, soften everyone up before they fight next.
Shadowburn, Dragon Blade into Nano Boost. Stop Surefour this time. Not going to get eaten by that Deadeye. Gets the 3K and has C9 here on the ropes. 30 seconds remaining. Mendo wants a closer look before falling, but hooks all bound. One good hook deserves another. Too easy. Gonna take out Mendo, and now C9 down to their final push, and they want to win this map here, Hex. I think they do need to get through Hangar Phase, so arguably C9's tournament life on the line right here, right now. Will they be able to push it through?
The big advantage is that there is sound barrier at this, and there is nothing even close to being ready for this Cloud9 offense, so they're going to have to do it twice the damage that Faze has to do.
Grego gonna break it down, potentially gonna put a stake in his former team. Faze fully shielded, but they get no kills off of this. C9 plays around it as Surefour punishes Shadowburn. That could not have gone any worse for Faze. Fact of Fiction, big Earth Shatter, knocking down 3, charging in. Here comes Too Easy and Forsaken, and the cart cleaned out. C9 now knows what they must defend. If they can't hold Faze even more than Faze held them, that is going to be it, and Faze will be your Alienware Monthly Melee champions.
Once again, Fact of Fiction putting on a clinic,
It's just
and
ridiculous.
Shadowburn able to clean up. I mean, they are just playing so well. And honestly, I think Too Easy has done better than Mendo in terms of the hog hooks. He's gotten more influential hooks, gotten more picks, even though Mendo, I think, has played pretty decently, even shutting down Fact of Fiction a few times on that run. Too Easy has just gotten the ones that have been more impactful for these team fights, and FaZe has put themselves in a very good position to win this tournament right now.
That said, not over yet, because we've seen Gibraltar first be one of the harder points in the game. It looks like it's wide open, but a lot of teams have come very close to getting shut out on first. We haven't necessarily seen it happen, but there's been a lot of last push heroics to get teams just to the shuttle phase in this tournament so far. So not as dire as it might appear for Cloud9, as they could completely just shut them out of first. Shadowburn on this Hanzo. How many lives of leash do you give him? 1, 2, 3?
I think I give him 2 lives on that. I think he'll go for the first push, probably for the second, but
At least
even
2.
then, he might even pull it after the first and just go Genji, because that has worked out for them.
I say at least 2, because last time he tried this, it didn't work out first push, and then he went second push and killed 3 people, and then they took points. So I'm not going to go away. And I think FaZe is a team where you say maybe they're stubborn, but I like consistency. Is a better word. And I actually like that a little bit more.
Fair enough. There have been times where Shadowburn's tried something, and then after 1 life, he's decided that that's enough. But I recall the game you're talking about where it was his 2nd and 3rd lives on Hanzo that were really the impactful ones, where they didn't give it up that early. So I think a lot of it just depends on how Shadowburn feels on it. It's not necessarily a science, it's more of a gut feeling on it. So they're going to give up all this high ground almost immediately. So Shadowburn's going to have the ability to get up here. All he has to do is dodge a hook, which he has to know is coming. They're going to get that Sonic arrow now. A lot of good information of where that Roadhog is. That is one of the biggest values of Hanzo. Completely uncontested up top, as they're going to try to just really protect server room.
I feel like Shadowburn was going for the most ridiculous scatter arrow of all time. They're just hoping for RNG to be his favor. Maybe it was just outright missed, but it did feel like that had a little bit more bounce to it. Either way, Shadowburn up here on the top, looking for that all-important pickoff. Would absolutely love to grab Surefour here if possible, but take a look at C9. C9, they're playing around this pretty well.
I mean, there's been 2 hook attempts on Shadowburn, and honestly, none of them have really even been that close. So they're going to all rotate around the top, knowing that these hooks are not an issue. There's another one goes right into a shield. Kaikai's the only one on the card. They need to turn around and find and kill him. And Maywall working against Kaikai as he barely gets out with his life.
This has been very bloodless here thus far, and yet FaZe is getting a whole lot of payload progress. At some point, C9 is going to have to commit and deal with this. Surefour going in, gets hooked by Too Easy, but a good ice block keeps him alive. Here comes Surefour, getting right in Shadowburn's face, turns him into a popsicle, and shatters him in turn. Surefour on this May doing some work, and very likely about to be C9 with the first hold here of the map.
Yeah, I mean, they lost that fight pretty badly, but I think they won the battle. They are going to be down on all charges and things like that, but not too much. They're consistent with them. They're not going to have all 6 like
See
Cloud9
that?
will, but
He just put Raucous in the freezer! This is one way of keeping your opponents on ice.
Well, Rockets was
saving them for a later date. Literally. That was an actual freezer, which staggered Rockets so long. What a play, man.
He got himself in a bad position. He was trying to stay alive back there for his team so that he could take high ground, and when they rotated back in, he would still be alive for them. But, you know, this card progress did make it pretty far. Now, though, it is retreating. So back where we started here, 1:48 on the clock to finish out this first point.
Well, we do have Graviton in to Dragon Strike on the menu here. Forsaken Gun look to set up Shadowburn. Graviton in, pulls in two. Hungry Dragon is out. And will even get one kill. Does eat Mendo, but it's going to stop there. Earth Shatter from Factor Fiction. Oh my goodness, the story continues. He's had such a good day and doesn't want to stop here yet. Sure4 not going to be able to do anything against this. And now, with 3 minutes and 50 seconds left, Faze on the verge of winning it all. C9 gonna have to come out with a huge hold here. Not even to the end of Hangar, just to the middle of Hangar. Gonna be rough.
It's gonna be extremely difficult. 3.5 minutes to do so, and I cannot recall the last time I've seen a Reinhardt play this dominantly. This has just been... I'm out of words for how to describe how Factor Fiction is playing. There is no keystroke out of place for him tonight.
Take a look at Sure4 right now. He's going to be coming in. Weather report is on the way. It's about to get chilly. Has to. Wall is up. Blizzard is in. And Sure4. Blizzard takes out Shadowburn. He gets deep in onto Raucus. And this is going to be enough to buy C9 some time. But Hex, with 3 minutes left, they have to do this multiple times in a row. One more team fight loss, and C9 is out of it.
Yeah, Cart's so close with the nose touching the yellow box of victory right there, so they are going to have... Well, I mean, the thing that should terrify them is that Factor Fiction's going to have another Earth Shatter ready. And if history is any indicator, that could be the game-winning play. Short4 is up over the top here, trying to get his flanking Mayon. No one really with a high ground answer.
Right now, just laying in Icicle after Icicle, but look, it's 4.24 meters away. C9 has to commit more to the payload, but Factor Fiction, once more, the Earth Shatter setting up Sure4 for failure. Grego still in this, potentially about to beat his former team. Too easy with a hook, and is this gonna be it, X? It will! It will be Faze taking the map, taking the series, and taking the tournament. They are your Alienware Monthly Melee champions for the month of October. Congratulations to Faze.
Slasher said this might develop into one of the better rivalries. I hope so. I hope these teams have to play against each other several more times. It was extremely entertaining, and I think, you know, given a long enough timeline, Cloud9 could win some of these sets, but what could be more fitting? Factor Fiction, play the game Reinhardt, gets them all in the corner.
So, play the game, of course, coming out by Factor Fiction, and why not? He, honestly... very arguably the MVP of the entire tournament. Just very consistent, very great plays for Faze. And sure, Shadowburn is a great story, a great DPS, but it's Factor Fiction's consistency, which is really stands out, where you know he's going to get those great Reinhardt plays, at least in a few fights, every map without fail. And not every team can rely on a Reinhardt like that.
Yeah, I mean, Factor Fiction, for me, is the MVP of this tournament. So many good plays across all the maps, even the games that they lost, he played great. He was able to get his ult up so many times, he saved his team so many times, he got so many kills, and set up so much space for Faze throughout all of these games that you've got to give it up to him for just being such a monster on Ryan especially.
All right, well, that does bring us to the end of the tournament here today. Guys, you have any final thoughts before we sign off? And once more, by the way, thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and staying with us on a longer night. Definitely got rewarded with some good games of Overwatch for it, though.
Despite all the technical issues, we have 10,000 people who just, witnessed Factor Fiction running amok in this tournament. His last voice line in that play of the game is, "I am unstoppable." I would tend to agree. Big props to Cloud9, though. They won the last tournament. They showed up here in the finals. They're still putting this roster together, still wrinkling it out. But FaZe looked really good. They are a team, when they're playing their best,